Good Friday evening to you. Watching Weather Underground on this end of the week, but stormy end of the week. It has been quite an active week tonight, no exception. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm LaRosa in for Mike Bettis tonight. We are in the middle of another night of active storms. The atmosphere reloading, bringing more strong winds, large hail, even tornadoes to some places that have already been hit hard this week with storms.
Right at last night near severe, or not near as severe storms pounded nearby this location. But this is a cool video, and a lot of keen-eyed folks said, wait a second, why are those lightning strikes going up to the cloud instead of down from?
You would think maybe somebody flipped their camera around or something, but look at that, just exploding from the ground into the sky. And I mean, this is the absolute best. The storm passes through, you're at a safe place, and then you see this.
Yeah. Weather jazz hands.
Yeah, I love it. But this is actually a really rare and interesting phenomenon called upward moving lightning. And so typically lightning moves from the cloud to the ground. That's what we often talk about when we talk about lightning strikes. It can also happen within the cloud, but that's typically what we see. So here's our strong thunderstorm. And now inside those updrafts, when you have that fast moving air, there's a lot of particles in there and they all fight around. You have really cold water and also ice crystals, but that ends up building a lot of negative charge when those ice crystals move and hit on each other. This negative charge starts to actually induce a positive charge down here on the ground. And now these two things are opposites, and opposites attract. And so after a while, when this buildup gets really strong, you start getting a little bit of a lead here from the cloud, and it starts to form a little bit of return here from the ground, and then these two things meet in the middle, and boom, there's an epic lightning strike. Often these are very strong. But with upward moving lightning, you have a very different scenario where now you have a really tall structure, and this is key. You actually need something like a radio tower or a wind turbine. This is actually a big problem with wind turbines. This needs to be here, and so now you still have some residual charge left up here in the cloud. This is inducing a charge here, but notice there's a lot of space in between here and the ground, but right here, there's not a lot of space. This is really close to the top of the cloud. So you start inducing a charge in this area, and then boom, that's where you start to get the discharge now from this radio tower up towards the cloud to meet that charge. So that's why you see those little spirit fingers coming off.
Very cool.
Very cool. And this is actually very rare. It often happens in the stratiform precipitation. So once the main storm complex moves through, that's when we see it. And wow, Maria, check out the lightning on that radar.
Is this really that kind of looks amazing. But it did make for a very interesting weather week, especially across the West. And our own Justin Michaels is in Boulder, Colorado with more.
Good or bad? I like it. I like some cool rainy days just because I know what the electric bill is going to be like.
That switch will be turned on in no time.
Soon enough.
Sure, yeah.
Hey, we ask you to sound off every night. The team is here. Brandon's very light, but when you've got the heavy wet snow, you might only get 7 inches of snow out of 1 inch of rain. Usually 10 to 1 is what we go on average.
Well, when we say heavy wet snow, I think it's deceptive because you think fluffy snow, but you add that on top of a roof over many cubic feet, that adds up.
That adds up. And you know, that dry snow is all the snow that we want for a snow day, right? You know, that's that epic, you wake up in the morning and it's beautiful, and you know, that's the kind of snow that you want. So if you hear 10 to 1, that's a good number.
Right. Or if you really, really want to pelt your siblings with snowballs, you probably know this. That heavy wet snow, it condenses real nice.
Real nice. Firm packing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, impact without the solid. Don't do the ice.
Yeah, do not throw ice at your siblings, folks.